Hello, and welcome to the first in a series of Vonetta Young Advisors newsletter questions. I hope to answer your question at least one per month in a video series that you'll find in our newsletter. So subscribe to the newsletter first. Second, send us questions. You can subscribe to the newsletter by going to vyadvisors.com, typing in your email address, and then you'll hear from me once a month. So the first question that we have is an excellent one. It's one that I've heard more than once, specifically from potential clients. It's how much time should I be committing to doing deals versus fundraising versus building the business? And I think this is an excellent question because I find that emerging managers tend to think that these are three different things. So they not only have to do deals, they also have to think about fundraising, they also have to think about building their business. How on earth do you do these three things when obviously doing deals is by far the most important of the three? I would encourage you to think of them not as three different things, but kind of one and the same. I think anything that you can do to build credibility and capacity are the things that you're going to want to focus on. And inevitably, these two things are going to wind up coming together. As you focus on doing deals, you're going to wind up realizing that you have other responsibilities. You're going to need to pay any staff members. You're going to need to schedule any meetings or appointments that you might have. And that's going to wind up bringing up the question of capacity. So as you're thinking about your deal flow, that's actually going to wind up bringing up another question of capacity. So of course that's a part of doing deals, but then you now have the question of how am I going to manage my deal flow? So that should encourage you to think more about what members of your team that you need and any other operational, even software infrastructure that you might have. And all of this goes into fundraising because LPs want to know how you are managing your business, not just how you're doing your deals, but how you're managing that business. And as you arrange meetings with LPs, that does so begs the question of capacity and how you plan, even how you're going to get to these meetings. When we're doing face-to-face meetings, again, it'll be a little bit more of a challenge. But even now, thinking about, what amount of time do I want to spend scheduling Zoom calls with potential LPs and having virtual coffees? So the way that I help my clients address these questions is by thinking about the ways in which they can expand their capacity and also expand their credibility. So we think about, how do we address the way that your team is building out your sales pipeline? How do we think about the ways in which we are differentiating your fund as you talk to LPs and as you consider fundraising? So, like I said, I don't think these are three different issues. That doing deals, fundraising, and building out your business should actually be considered three parts of the same triangle. All three parts are absolutely necessary. All three parts wind up making a very sustainable shape and object. And if you think about it, it looks like the top of a house. You certainly wouldn't want a house without a roof. So until next time, please send me additional questions. Would love to hear from you, and I will see you next month.